Why does it have to be? Oh, one and one X.
I looked on 1x intercept. Has it?
How did I get that wrong? Oh. Don't make fun of me.
Now let's talk about how to find the local max and local min. You guys that have the TI calculators, you can find the exact points. I can show you how to do that sometime on our own here. The rest of you, we're just going to have to estimate it.
It looks like an awful lot of
It can be a little bit dicey. It's just estimating. So let's look at 15 and let's put that in the calculator. And then we'll try to estimate the x-intercept. I've got x to the third plus 4x squared minus 3x minus 4. So I'm going to try to estimate the turning point. Now what can we use to estimate the turning point? Those are the zeros. The zeros, you're talking about the x-intercepts. The turning points would be here and there, where it changes direction.
So it wants to basically know like the highest point of the vertex, right?
Yeah. See how these points are kind of like vertices? Here and here?
That's not bad.
How can I estimate those though?
Look where it's between 8 and 16.
Well, it's nearly 16, but not quite 16, so it's probably.
I want to use the trace to estimate it.
Never mind.
No, you guys are not saying what I want you to say, so I'm just going to word this out. I want to use trace. You guys see trace over here?
Yes.
Okay, so trace, you see the little orange dot that appears?
No.
You can use the left and right arrows to move it. And it gives you the coordinate down in the corner here.
Interestingly enough, trace is not working for me.
You have to
Do you have the equation highlighted on top here?
You actually have to highlight it and hit trace?
No. You have to have it. It has to be white.
I think you can't see it because yours is kind of goofy.
No, it's there. It's there. See the orange dot there?
Oh, no,
it's there. Just move it left and right.
Huh. Thank you. So this is just giving us a general idea, and then we look at the multi-choice and see what's closest, right?
Yes. So the trace kind of gives you a general idea, and it's multiple choice. So it looks like mine is about -3 or so, and then 13 and 14. Okay.
It only wants the range.
It only wants the y value. That's mine.
Okay.
We can't figure it out. You have to use this
Oh.
That's what I was doing. Telling it it's not going anywhere.
Wish you could select the equations. It's so frustrating. You have to type them all out.
Here. So it only wants the y values because the actual maximum or minimum of the function would be the y value, the height of that point. So it looks like mine would be about, my local max was about 14, and then the local min, well, I only have one local max that's right, so the local min I don't really even need to do. My local max was about 14 down here.
Oh, yeah, right.
Oh, come on. What is going on here?
Yeah, my computer is extremely slow earlier today.
No, it's not recognizing the pen. It doesn't. Oh, there it goes. Alright, here we go. Okay, so your local max should be your highest turning point, your local min would be your lowest one. Okay, so you just kind of estimate those. I don't know. Sometimes if you click on the equation, it doesn't come back. Alright guys, let's look at the next one and try to figure out the maximum, not the next one, number 17, maximum of this revenue function. This is one where it's going to ask you the turning points and they're not multiple choice, so we've got to kind of estimate from looking at it. It should be a whole number though, so that's good. Alright, so this is number 17. My equation is negative 0.1 x cubed plus 12x squared minus 110x. Okay, and then it gives me a window of negative 110 to positive 110. And a y window of negative 7,000 to 25,000. Go ahead and put that window in before you graph.
So there's two turning points to split.
Okay, so I've got two turning points here. I've got one here, one here. Okay, because x represents the number of units sold, what restriction should we put on x? And what restriction should we put on r, which is the revenue? They should both be non-negative. You can't sell negative units, and you can't make negative money.
Well, you can, but you shouldn't.
Well, technically revenue is only talking about the money you make, so you can, revenue can only be positive. Profit can be negative, but revenue can only be positive. And units can definitely only be positive. So they should both be non-negative. Now here, we may need to play a little bit of a guessing game here. Here I've got, if I want to graph on a window that makes sense, that just means the first quadrant. So x and y should both be positive. So let's go back over here and make our window start at 0 on x and y. Okay, so it looks like I come up from the axis at about 10. Here. Kind of a guessing game here.
Now, say in your graph the turning point is just outside the graph. You know the turning point's there because you can see that it comes back down. But the question is, how many points are displayed? Would you only answer one then, because one of the turning points isn't displayed?
What do you say that again?
Like my equation here. When graphed, the turning point isn't displayed. So, would I answer?
It should be 2.
It should be 2.
Is your equation right? Let me see your equation. Negative 130.
Oh, minus 138.
minus 130x. Yeah,
Oops.
something's wrong there. It should look exactly like mine.
Missed that.
Okay, so I picked this graph based on the fact that I want my equation to come up from the first tick mark here, which is C. I want it to come up from the first tick mark and then go all the way to the right-hand corner. Okay, so D is too far over here. B is too far over on the other side. And A goes all the way to the origin, so I don't like that. Those are pretty similar there. Now, how can I find the revenue if 40 units are produced?
Traces?
I don't want to use trace for this. Would 40 be your X value or your R value?
X.
Be your X. So you can either plug in 40 for X in the equation, or we can use the table. So if I want my X to be 40, set my table to start at 40, and I can get my Y value. So my revenue if 40 units are produced would be 8,400 for mine. Now, I thought they were going to ask you the local max. I guess that's another question. There's another revenue. Oh, there's another revenue question. The next one. The next one they're going to ask you for the local max. I didn't realize there were two of these. You guys want to try the next one if you got 17?
Yes.
We're still working on 17. Go ahead and finish that one out. Walk around here.
So how did you get the
You're going from negative 100 to 99.
What are you looking for?
what does the function of revenue 50 units are produced?
Just go here.
Oh, no.
Type in 50.
I did not. Thank you.
Now go over here and only show the first quadrant again. X and Y.
What if it doesn't let you type the max and the x-axis or the y-axis that it wants?
It should.
Mine wants 120,000, but on the graphing calculator it only goes up to it only let me type 12,000. It won't let me add
Go to
another
100,000
zero.
and then zoom out one.
No, it only let me go to 99,000.
Are you clicking graph again? After you change something?
I did it this time. I didn't do it last time.
This is not what my graph looks
Then
like.
maybe you click graph a couple times to get it to a different.
It shows after class.
Yeah.
I think yours you can zoom out
Honestly,
some. I
for the
think I
questions we're
typed
doing,
mine right.
yours
Mine
is
in
just-
there.
You're not showing something's wrong in your equation. That's not
Hit
showing a
the
table.
zoom off.
Maybe
you should.
That's it.
Hang on. I'll have to go with you. Hang on. Okay, I finally got mine. It wants to know basically from 0. So it doesn't want you to include this.
Go as high
And
as
the
you can go,
0
which
is
is
going to hit
100,000.
right here. So it's going to be
Or go to
0.
99,000 actually. Or 99999. It only goes up to. I know, so go as high as you can go. 99,999. And then graph. I'll just get it here. Just have a little more space at the top.
Ignore me, Adobe just crashed. I have to go feedback up.
You're not showing anything here, so something's wrong with your equation. So if you need it to go over 100,000, just put in 5 nines and then zoom out from there if you need to. But it doesn't have a sixth place. Okay, but if you go to 5 places and then zoom out, it'll actually go over on its own. I don't know why it won't let you type up this as a sixth place. Okay, so let me put in this one here.
Does it matter what order you type that in?
No, as long as you keep the signs the same. I would just type it in the order that they showed it to me. I wouldn't try to change the order. You don't need to do that.
Okay.
Here's an example of what it's doing.
One second.
This is different from.
Go to the nearest multiple of 10. So yours would be 90.
Go back to your graph. No, I don't want it, because you only care about this side of it. You don't want the,
You don't want that. You want to.
That's what.
You gotta use this equation to calculate. You don't want to put in 20 for y. You
I
want to
have
put
a
in 20 for x.
type in 29.
Sir, did that work?
Try to type in
The 90 work?
Type in 30.
Can I ask you a question?
The units is x, and then that would be your y value. So you want to change your table to go to 90 and find the y value. Go back to standard window on the standard window in your it's just in about one half. Now trace. So your local max is right here. The highest little half point there. Trace to the left. I don't see the dot. You guys see the coordinates? No, there it is. Y value is actually what
It's 45 bucks.
So yours is telling you 10, you just want to pick the closest one, which would be the 12.
Okay.
The Y value is the maximum.
I see.
Okay, so if I want to estimate my maximum on number 18, you're going to have to use your trace. Now, to choose the maximum, you can't get the exact number, but the trick on this one is you need to go to the closest multiple of 10. So mine's looking at about 49 point something, and I'm looking like I'm at the maximum, then my actual maximum is 50. Okay? So use the trace to get close to it, or when you're at the top of that bump, and then go to the nearest multiple of 10 will be your actual maximum on the trace.
And then you can plug in 50 on the chart there.
Okay, so yeah, I want to go to 50 here.
I like that you made both of these short assignments. Thank you.
Okay? So a window that shows a complete graph, well, I can just look at these and say only one of these looks like a complete graph. Which one of these is a complete graph?
C.
C. Okay?
Because it has both turning points.
It has both turning points. A and B are cut off. You can't see the one on the right or the left. So it has to be C.
Okay, how about what?
Okay, I just picked the wrong one. Part A should be a better graph because you only want to look at the positive side. I read this backwards.
Yeah, which one shows the complete graph? We just covered it. No.
No, but where's my revenue
The
increasing?
complete graph. That's not for the rest of the turning points.
If I look at this graph, my revenue is increasing from 0 to 50.
The better part.
And then from 50 onward, it starts going down again. So I want to use 0 to 50 as a
This is part A.
interval.
So having a negative revenue.
Now, how am I going to write this interval?
And you have it, so
Bracket, 0,
no.
comma.
Oh, yeah, we want positive.
Yeah, it's in the positive revenue.
Yeah.
And we can't say negative units, which is
Okay, I'm actually going to want to end with a parentheses.
And
Because at 50 it changes, so at 50 it's not increasing or decreasing, it's technically flat at 50. I think that's what they want. I'm not 100% sure until I, that's what they want.
Okay. Well, I was just listening to it, there's somewhere right there.
So I used a bracket at 0 because I start at 0, my revenue increases up until the maximum. Then I put parentheses at around 50 because at 50 it's not technically increasing anymore. At 50 is where it changes direction. So I don't want to include that.
Courtney, make my brain hurt.
No, I think I said I would pass around and then I forgot again. Thank you for mentioning it. I cannot remember anything again. For more than 2 minutes.
Today's just been a long day.
Do you guys see any other problems you want to go over?
How about 19, if you don't mind?
I have like 172 questions.
There it is. I heard 16 and 19. Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to 16 and then we'll look at 19.
Split difference of 17.5.
Okay, 16 and 19. All right, 16, I'm going to graph this. Function, all right, so negative x to the 4th. Minus 16x to the 3rd. Minus 94x squared. Minus 240x. Minus 225. I'm going to graph that and then put it on the standard window. Now the trick with number 16 is that it should all be whole number points. Okay? Now 2 of these I can figure out. The 2 local maximum, I've got negative 5, 0, and then negative 3, 0 right here.
Local minimum is negative 1, negative 4. Or negative 4, negative 1.
Okay, hold on, let me get my pen working here. So these are local max. now if they're all whole number points, I can just figure out the coordinates from just looking at them. So the coordinates here are x is negative 5, y is 0. And here, x is negative 3, y is 0. And for the minimum, I can tell x is negative 4, and it looks like y is
I would say negative 1.
negative 1.
To make sure, you could probably just put in 4 in that.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, question, what if your graph goes the opposite way, is the minimum, the maximum point in the middle?
Then you'd
Is
have one
higher?
max and two minimums. Yep. Yeah, that's a good question. So my function has two maximums and one minimum, but if you flip it the other way, you're going to have two minimums and one maximum. So make sure you answer the question in the right order. So it's asking me for my minimum first. My minimum was negative 4, negative 1. And my maximums were negative 5, 0. Put a comma between your points. Negative 3, 0. Now, you should all have whole number answers, and you should just be able to look at them from the graph. There's not anything funky going on with this problem. What was your maximum? 25? So you're going to end it, it's going to stop increasing at 25 because 25 is as high as it goes. Just do 25 parentheses. Because at 25, it stops increasing, so you don't want to include 25. Alright, did you guys get 16? Sarah? Straighten it around?
No.
You guys want to go back in?
So x is actually negative 3. Is that right?
That's positive 33.
And negative 1. Okay.
No, you positive 38.
And that was my 2 and 0.
2 zeros wasn't. Alright, now we wanted to look at 19.
You have an excellent memory.
19.
Yes, please.
19 is the interest question. Okay, the interest question. The percentages are what you're going to plug in for R. So you're actually going to compute S 5 times with a different R. Okay? So if R equals 0,
And then it'd be 5,000. Right?
well, if you're earning 0% interest, you're just going to end up with the same amount you started with. But if I want to actually plug that in the formula, for R equals 0, then I would have S equals, oh, come on, this thing is not black. It's tired.
It's a generic Monday, it feels like.
It's not even Monday, it's Tuesday.
That's what I mean, it's a generic Monday.
And now nothing.
Oh, separated.
Oh, there it is.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, for R equals 0, I would have S equals 5,000 times 1 plus 0 squared. Okay. Well, 1 plus 0 squared is just 1. 1 squared is 1.
So 5,000 and 1?
So 5,000 times 1 is just
Oh, yeah, 5,000 times.
5,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna have to do